I'm Tuula Mikkilä, coming from the University of Turku School of Economics at the University of Turku, and my background is in marketing. And my co-author, Heli Aramo-Immonen, comes from Technical University of Tampere. We both come from the Pori unit, University Consortium, where the third task of the university is serving society, in our case the community in Satakunta region on the west coast. It's very much emphasized. Being an old industrial district, now turning into something else, we are very interested actually in this new thinking of industrial services and service-dominant logic. And we've been studying industrial services and innovation and service development in those business-to-business companies. And the motivation of this study was to understand more holistic the innovation function of a company, not only those innovation process, but the whole system, because we have found out that actually it's quite complicated. It's not that easy that engineers seem to think that it's one process or some processes that are identical and easy to copy from one to another. So let me go back because the purpose of the. Oh, yeah. So we asked the question how knowledge is managed in service innovation in the telecommunications industry. In this case, and in our paper, we first have a literature review discussing service innovation in dimensions of innovation in the service industry, and then the concepts of intellectual capital and knowledge management. And then we have a single case study in one of the world's third largest ITC company providing infrastructural services in business-to-business context. The case department we looked at was a technical support department of the company. Analysis was based on pattern matching buy-in, and we have this theoretical pattern there compare the reality with this theory. Then first we have here some conceptions what we have used in this study. In the intellectual capital we see as an organization's capability to transform its intangible assets, expertise and renewal ability into economic value. So this economic value is because it's business, it's not some other public organization or non-profit organization. So here we emphasize the economic value. And the intellectual capital, combination of human, structural and relational resources. And in all these resources, you see the role of knowledge. It's very important, and that's why we are looking at the knowledge management, and especially this structural knowledge tool here. As in innovation, there are many definitions of knowledge management in theory as well, and we have adopted the definition that knowledge management is a management function that creates or locates knowledge, manages the flow of knowledge, and ensures that knowledge is used effectively and efficiently for the long-term benefit of the organization. And also we have adopted the definition of innovation as a knowledge-based process. That was our starting point. We also discuss organizational memory in our paper. Because we talk about a tool that serves as organizational memory in this case study. But this theoretical pattern, this innovation space, we adopted because of this aim to holistically understand radical and incremental innovations have been discussed quite a lot and studied quite a lot. But this model by Tid, Besant and Babbitt encompasses the whole innovation space with paradigm innovations, product and service innovations that are mostly meant when talking about innovations and looking at the innovation processes, but also these positional innovations and process innovations. They all come together in this holistic innovation function of a company. And then we go to the case company, and I have to now look at the business units, because there are, under CEO, there are 6 business units, which are, strategy and business development, operations, network systems, global services, business solutions, and customer operations. And our case is in this business solution unit, which has 5 product lines, technical support being one of them. That was our case study. The technology decisions of the company are made in this Chief Technology Office, and the IPR management is also in that office. This technical support office provides very many different services, and so it's very hard actually to say, for instance, what's the role of customers giving creating value in these solutions, because they are so different and encompassing both hardware and software and services. So they are very, very complex. But in this company, they have this innovation roundtable system for managing knowledge. It's a cross-functional and multidisciplinary team, so people bringing together the tacit knowledge and experience in making decisions. And the roundtable, the system represents the whole company around the world and in the organization, and this global basis work, and they make assessments concerning information that they collect via this tool icon presenting a moment, and they give feedback for every suggestion, even though they may not be feasible or developed either, but it's very much appreciated in a company to get this feedback. And this innovation roundtable, they also combine the suggested ideas and inventions into commercially attractive innovations. So they make decisions what to use and how to use them, and they support these inventors and collaborative creativity in the company. And in cases there's some internal need for special demand in the company for developing or innovating something new, they can undertake innovation campaigns to attract people to give their ideas. The knowledge management tool used in the company is global innovation management tool. Yes, thank you. Web-based user interface to collect ideas, innovations, and inventions from the whole organization. It's open 24/7 for all the employees, and it works in a way like a social media, an internal social media. People can discuss and develop existing ideas there. But it also encompasses support tools for project management and further development of the inventions. And in case you need a virtual team to implement some feasible ideas, you can also use this tool. Then they create a special team with inventors, and some are team members, or member who manages a particular innovation process. So what we found out that the innovations focusing on an entirely new product are quite rare in the case company. And even though there is an innovation strategy in the company, it doesn't affect the innovation processes at the floor level yet. And we were talking about this open innovation. In a way, in this company, open innovation, they don't take customers with this innovation process, even though this development is often triggered by the feedback from the customers. But for the new products and new innovations, they are very self-sufficient there. But they need and have the information about the customers, and that's the role of the customer contact personnel is very important. Not only in this company, but we have made some other project that gives the same information, that the customer contact personnel are very important mediators. Those technical developers seldom are directly contacted with the customers, but through this IM tool, for instance, here they get the customer information. And in these processes, in this company, agile methods are preferred to traditional waterfall processes because they found it more easier, or you don't have to follow the process, that you can change it when the systems are agile. And here we have some information. It was very hard actually for the company to put those activities they do in this theoretical innovation space. But there are some results, you can read it in the paper, how they do. But as you say, the innovation really takes place in different spaces in this places in this space. And this is some summary. So incremental services mainly, and very low risk taking in this case department, and as I said already, open source innovation are not used. They boost the creation of new knowledge by reward system and easy access to this tool. And knowledge combining was effectively organized by and managed by this innovation round table. But the problem seems to be you don't get enough ideas and suggestions from the company compared to the number of employees worldwide. So what can we do there? It's a managerial problem. And as I said already, it wasn't easy to place these innovations, but positioning of those activities could give the managers an overview in their current situation, what they are actually doing. Because, for instance, I think that many companies are turning, or they say they are turning into service companies. But how are they implementing this very radical innovation? Yeah. I think the managers don't even understand what it actually means for them. It's not that you go out and say, now we are a service company. But really you have to change almost everything. According to mindset. But then at this operational level, first the mindset. But we think that the need for new assessment methods and tools is really needed for us and for companies to develop. So that's well. Thank you, and that's where we come from.
Thank you very much. Before I give the stage to the audience, I'm interested in your own role within this type of research. So in order to actually study knowledge management practices, you need a specific access. Can you give us some information about how you work, you as a researcher?
Yeah, actually we had the opportunity to access the company to know some people working there and then we had this opportunity to observe and interview the people working in the company.
So it was mainly conducted from an observer point of view, or maybe also some participant observation, something like that?
I think this participant observation, because we have these discussions with this employee working in the company and working for a long time, and his observations during the system, and then our observations for a shorter period of what we visited the company.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, no, any questions?
In the way they use this system in the company, is it only for product innovation, or is it also used for process innovation?
It's also used for process innovations. Actually, you can put all kinds of suggestions for the improvement of the activities and services within the system. And then this innovation roundtable selects what suggestions could proceed or go on.
Could you show the slide about this global innovation management tool, please?
Yeah.
So was this in a way your main source of data to search information from how this tool is used, or?
No, but the interviews of the employees.
How they use this tool? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you planning to have some kind of intervention related to these tools in order to develop this further, or is it the case from?
That, for the time being, I don't know, because I think that from a technical point of view, this is good enough, but the use of this to get these ideas from the employees inside the company is not enough from the voluntarily based. But as you see, they can also undertake these campaigns in this web or virtual surroundings to get ideas from the personnel or the workers if there's some special need to innovate something, then you can engage the workers or employees to this process with this tool.
And then a question. In your research institute, are you interested in the transformation from industrialized companies to more service-oriented industrial companies? And do you have knowledge in this business service companies within the industrial field?
Yes, we have, of course, those. Oh, I forgot the words. What's this programs list? But we had in a bigger project, we had both these manufacturing companies, high-tech companies, and then we had pure service companies, so working on this. But mainly it is solutions that manufacturers provide for their clients, whether it's these programs. How do you call it?
Social services? Or?
No. I mean, it's Windows and Windows
software.
Software, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, sorry. Yes, these software companies. Purely knowledge-based. But actually, how do you define this knowledge-based company? Because I think in every business you need knowledge, depending on business, what kind of knowledge. Yeah. This professional services. How do you classify the services. What are in industrial services? They may be maintenance services. They may as well be some professional services, logistics, environmental services, and I think this is quite a big problem because in those cases we studied, the companies couldn't even say what's in the income, what's a part of services, because they haven't actually defined what is services and what is service given away with hardware and machines. So one problem is today that the services you have earlier given away for free should be priced now, and the customers are not ready to pay for these services. That's one problem in turning into a service company and doing business and finding new business models.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Now I was. Yeah.
It's closing, so we have to wait.
Yeah. Sorry. Usually you have.
No, this is
Yes, yeah, that's what
escape
power.
is, yeah.
All right. Yes, I can. Yeah. Power was.
We need some minutes to start.
It's a very slow PC.
Yeah. Good morning to everybody. My name is Antonio Messeni Petruzzelli. I'm lecturer and innovation manager at Polytechnic of Bari. First of all, for me it's a great pleasure to have the opportunity to be here today for discussing with you my ongoing research titled Timing of Search and Innovation, the Moderating Effect of Film Age and Size. This research has been co-authored with Tommaso Sabino, PhD student at the University of San Marino Republic. The main goal of this paper is to investigate the innovative performance implication of searching for knowledge over time. We are interested in analyzing which is the relationship linking the use of aged knowledge inputs and the resulting value of innovation, the value of the resulting innovation. Furthermore, we are also especially interested in analyzing how such a relationship is contingent upon specific firm characteristics as the age and size of the firm. In other words, we want to identify how the specific age or specific size of the firms may impact on its choice and its capability to use knowledge of different age. In the literature, it is commonly accepted that innovation is a process of search and recombination. With this regard, scholars have more recently emphasized the dimension of time in this search process, discussing about the cost and benefit of this choice. However, despite this debate about advantage and disadvantage, there is still little agreement about the actual effect of knowledge age on innovation. Hence, we aim at contributing to this debate by investigating such a relationship and especially investigating how such a relationship depends on the specific firms using knowledge. With this regard, we focus upon two specific characteristics as the age and the size of the firm. Referring to the first relationship that we investigate, this relationship is about the age of knowledge inputs, of knowledge resources, and the value of innovation. With this regard, we expect that as knowledge ages, its contribution in terms of innovation tend to increase for three main reasons. First of all, because it may tend to become more reliable, since it's been exposed to an extensive validation over time, since it stays on the market for a longer time. And so this may decrease the risk of improper misapplication of technical errors by firms, by individuals. And furthermore, it may also allow for firms searching for knowledge over time or individuals to discover useful solutions once time has not yet come. For instance, for the change in market condition, for the merging of complementary assets, or for the merging of enabling technologies, which may allow the inventor to discover still useful innovation, still useful solution. However, it's always true that after a certain threshold, as knowledge becomes too much mature, we expect that this contribution in terms of innovation tend to be reduced because it may become too much obsolete, and it may fail to meet the customer and environmental needs and expectations. Because as knowledge becomes too mature, it may imply learning difficulties by firms and individuals in both searching, retrieving, understanding, and applying these knowledges. Hence, the cost may overcome the benefits. Also, because this type of knowledge resources may suffer from a lack of recombinant capabilities because they have been extensively exploited over time. They may be extensively exploited over time. And also think that really on too much mature knowledge may risk to fall into competency traps and co-rigidity, and risk to lag behind their competitors in the race for sustainable advantage. Hence, the first relationship that we pose is the following. We expect that the age of knowledge inputs will exhibit an inverted U-shaped effect on the value of innovation. In other words, we expect that railing on middle-aged knowledge resources presents greater benefit than railing on both nascent and mature knowledge. However, as previously had, we are more interested in identifying how such a curvilinear relationship is moderating by two specific characteristics of the firms as their age and size. Referring to the age may in a certain sense be considered as a proxy of the learning capability of the firms. Hence, we expect that when we're combining nascent and middle-aged knowledge inputs, older firms may present a greater number of difficulties, which may relate fundamentally to an increased institutionalization over time, which may in a certain sense reduce their learning opportunity, their opportunity to learn new technological solutions. Because these firms are generally characterized by a lack of recombinant capabilities, as well as a lack of adapting to the change in the environment. And so they may not be able to identify new solution and then to embed this solution into products or processes, into innovation. However, we contrarily expect that when using, when exploiting, when recombining method knowledge, older firms may present a great advantage. Great advantage because they are characterized by a long-lasting organizational memory, which may increase the accuracy of the search and selection process of these old resources, because it's always true that among the different old resources that we may find on the market, not all represents a valuable solution, and the capability to identify which resources may be really valuable depends also on the capability of the firm to search across this solution, this method solution. Also, older firms are expected to be more familiar with the solution that stay on the market for a longer time. And such a familiarity between the inventor, between the inventing organization and the solution that they are applying is expected to increase their opportunity to obtain successful recombination. Hence, we expect that the age of firms moderates the curvilinear relationship, the relationship between the age of knowledge inputs and the value of innovation, in such a fashion that younger firms are expected to are more able to recombine nascent and middle-aged knowledge resources, while older firms are expected to present a great advantage when exploiting the method knowledge. The other moderating effect that we analyze refers to the size of the firms, which may be considered as a proxy for the availability of resources. Hence, we expect that when we're combining nascent knowledge input, nascent knowledge resources, larger firms may exploit economies of scale and in R&D activities. They are generally characterized by a great number of financial resources, which may increase their capability to face financial risks. And financial risk is generally more associated with the development of radical solutions. And also, these kind of firms are generally characterized by a greater number of marketing and distribution facilities, which may increase their capability to penetrate the market with the products that are novel and radical, and with products that embed nascent and middle-aged knowledge resources, knowledge inputs. Similarly, we also expect that when recombining method knowledge, larger firms may exploit a number of advantages. A number of advantages that are characterized by the larger R&D staff, which may increase the capability to recognize valuable solutions, as well as by the greater number of complementary assets, which may allow the firms to revitalize method knowledge and recombining this in a still useful ways. And to extract, of course, value from the solution. Differently, when recombining middle-aged knowledge inputs, we expect that smaller firms may better enjoy the advantage of flexibility and adaptability, because this type of innovation are generally less risky, less uncertain, and less characterized by financial constraints. So in this case, we expect that these younger firms are in a better condition to recombine this knowledge and to obtain successful innovation. Hence, we expect that the size of firms moderates the relationship between the age of knowledge inputs and the value of the resulting innovation in such a fashion that the smaller firms are in a better condition to recombine middle-aged knowledge inputs, while larger firms may better recombine both nascent and method knowledge. Okay, to test these three hypotheses, we really on a sample of US biotechnology firms listed in Bioscan in 2010. We consider both public and private firms. For these firms, we consider only those firms that listed for at least one biotechnology patents at USPTO in the period 1985 to 2002, which well capture the evolution of the biotechnology industry, the US biotechnology industry. Hence, our final sample includes 5,575 focal patents, which are our unit of analysis, which are filled by 298 firms. Furthermore, for each of these focal patents, we consider information about backward and forward citation. Backward citation are used to characterize the knowledge that we recombine, while forward citation are used to identify the value of the resulting innovation. Hence, we identify 51,151 cited patents and 57,503 citing patents forward citation. Turning to the main variables of our study, the dependent variable is represented by the value of innovation, which is captured by the number of forward citations received by each focal patent until 2009. By excluding such citation, it has to exclude citation received by the same assignee of the focal patent. The main independent variable is the age of knowledge inputs, which is captured by the mean time lag between the cited patents and the focal one application date, in order to have a temporal dimension of the search for knowledge strategy performed by firm. The two moderating variables refer to the age and size of the firm. Firm age is the natural logarithm of the difference between the firm's year foundation and the focal patent application date, while the firm size is the natural logarithm of the number of employees of each biotechnology firms. We also included a number of control variables to account for any other potential effect, following previous literature, of course, that may impact on the value of innovation, as the public status, the existence of co-applicants in the patents, the number of backward citation, number of claims, the number of other references to capture scientific knowledge, the size, patent age, the scope of the patent in terms of number of technological classes to which the patent is assigned, governance support, and year dummies. To test these hypotheses, we employ negative binomial regression models since our dependent variable is a count and integer variable. So a count model we need to choose. However, the negative binomial allows to account for for over dispersion. Our dependent variables suffers from this issue. We also include a robust standard error to control for heteroscedasticity, and to test the hypothesis we rely on the partial models 2, 3, and 4, because in the full model the variance inflection factor analysis exceeds the critical value of 10, hence revealing multicollinearity issues. So we have to read on the partial models. It's possible to, in the first model we consider only the control variable. In the second model we have the effect of knowledge age, and in the third and fourth model we consider the moderating effect of both age of firm and size of firm. Specifically, it's possible to observe that model 2, the first hypothesis is confirmed since the linear coefficient is positive and significant, while the square coefficient is negative and significant, hence revealing an inverted shape effect. Turning to the other two moderating variables, we may notice that they completely change the shape of the function, turning from an inverted shaped effect to a new shaped effect. However, to gain more insights into our hypothesis, we needed to plot the relationship. Specifically, in the bottom of the slide, we may observe the curvilinear relationship linking the age of knowledge inputs and the innovation value, which reaches a maximum value about at 9 years. Considering to account for the true moderating effect, we have to split the moderating variable into high and low value. To then this split, we follow the procedure proposed by Akin and West, specifically lower value, as for instance younger firm or larger firm, we consider the one standard deviation above the mean, while for lower value we consider one standard deviation below the mean. Hence, going to the relationship between age of knowledge inputs and innovation value and the moderating effect of the age of the firm, it's possible to observe that the younger firms presents always greater benefit, however up to 30 years. In other words, for excessive matter knowledge, larger firms seems in a better condition to exploit this knowledge. Differently, when going to the size of the firm, we can notice that larger firms present greater benefit when recombining, when exploiting both very nascent knowledge resources up to 6 years, or mature knowledge that are older than 23 years. While for, in a certain sense, middle-aged knowledge resources, including the range between 6 and 23 years, smaller firms seem in a better condition to exploit the advantage of such recombination opportunities. Hence, we reveal that recombining both nascent and mature knowledge resources presents both cost and benefits, and hence calling for a trade-off when we choose to vary upon nascent or mature resources. Specifically, we also reveal that the choice of which knowledge recombine in terms of time is strictly dependent on the specific firms recombining knowledge. In fact, all the firms presents a greater advantage when using meta-knowledge for their greater learning experience, while younger firms tend to be in a better condition to use national and middle age. Finally, larger firms may better exploit their availability of resources, financial and technical resources, but when using national and method knowledge, while smaller firms are in a better condition to exploit adaptability and flexibility in the use of middle-age knowledge resources. Going to the contribution, to the main theoretical contribution of this study, of course we contribute to the emerging debate about the temporal search of innovation, temporal search of knowledge, by revealing that to effectively analyze this effect, this is strongly dependent on the specific traits of the firms, so it's necessary to characterize also the firms, also the organization using that knowledge. Furthermore, we also contribute to the study that have investigated the cost and benefits of firm age and size in terms of innovation performance, by revealing that these costs and benefits are strongly dependent on the specific knowledge resources that they use in the innovation process. And finally, we also question the view that national knowledge is always better, since their benefits are strongly dependent on the specific firm. Of course, our study presents a number of limitations that may, however, be the venue for further research. First of all, we rely only on patent data, which represents a specific subset of firm technological capabilities. Hence, further study may, for instance, investigate this issue at product or process level. Okay? Other aspects should be to contingent the value of temporal search, not only by considering the age of the size of the firm, but other characteristics. For instance, the scientific orientation, the explorative versus exploitative capability of these firms, as well as their relational capital. It should be also interesting to investigate the contingent effect played by a number of contextual factors, such as environmental dynamism, competitive pressure, appropriability regime, or industry evolution stage. And finally, to extend our results, it should be interesting to investigate other industry and other settings. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any questions from your side?
Too fast.
Too fast? No, actually it was right on time. I'm interested. Have you controlled for the issue of turnover as well? Because I could imagine, particularly if you look at the age of knowledge, that also the turnover rate might be moderating or an influencing variable.
Yeah, of course. The turnover may be a proxy of size in a certain sense, which may be considered as a proxy of the resources that the firms have generated.
Yeah.
We have not controlled for the turnover, but we have replaced the number of employees, the size, with the patent stock of the firms, which is the number of patents that they have successfully filed in the 5 years previous to the filing date of the focal one. Yeah. And results do not change. However, it should be also interesting to account for more financial performances and turnover in order to control.
But the turnover, I actually refer to employee turnover.
Oh, okay.
So because there we have this close connection between knowledge and also turnover, and you can imagine if some of the key stuff actually leaves the company, we have a situation of knowledge loss, and maybe this has an influence on the firm's opportunities to actually make use of any kind of knowledge type. And so
of course, because this maybe represents, this may accelerate, for instance, the organizational memory decay of the organization, hence may present a number of constraints of the firm in using the mature knowledge. So it's a good suggestion. Thanks.
I'm sorry. Thank you for your presentation about moderating effects. Normally, moderating effect paper, we could find out the graphic. X is independent variable knowledge age, Y innovation effect, and third moderating variable yield over firms. What can I say? Normally, in X, Y, and third level, we could show at this graphic on moderating effect, normally moderating effect papers from XY, some point change of firm year, how move from some point to other point. This is showing the moderating effect directly, graphically.
Moderating effect.
Another, yeah, I also wrote right paper like this, moderating effect. Why do you try to show graphically the moderating effect?
Okay, it's necessary to show graphically the moderating effect, because if I say you that the shape of the curve completely change, in this case you can find that in model 2 the relationship is a U-shaped effect. Okay, we have an inverted parabolic effect. Well, if you consider the coefficient, for instance, of the new variable knowledge input age for film age and the square terms of knowledge input age for film age, you find a completely changed relationship. The linear term is negative, the square term is positive. Okay? So we have a U-shaped effect. However, to notice that my propositions are confirmed, you need to come to the graph, because for instance, it may also occur that the relationship range outside of our variables, so the range of our variables. Okay? In this case, you can say that the hypothesis is confirmed because it is not included in your range of variables. When you say that it changed the point, you have to consider that my linear relationship is that you can see in the bottom of the figure, so an inverted shape. When the moderating is that when you move toward an eigenvalue of, for instance, h, okay, you can see that the shape, completely changed from a U shape, an inverted shape, to a U-shaped effect. Okay, so this change of tendency may represent the moderating that is exerted by, in this case, the age of the firm.
Yeah, understand. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I think, unfortunately, we should close in order to give us a small break. Thank you very much for your contribution from both sides. And I think we have seen that there are still many future research potential in front of us. What was interesting from my side was that actually I think we should try to have a more balanced discussion when we study open innovation or we study innovation knowledge flow in general. From my point of view, we have still a very positive way of thinking, so that